Well, hello, Wichita. Welcome to Council Chat. I am Councilmember Bryan Frye from the 5th District. With me today is Vice Mayor Mike Hoheisel, who also represents District 3.
Yes, sir.
So we haven't done one of these in a while, so it's good to see you.
It's been a minute, yeah. You look rested and refreshed.
Tanned.
Tan as always, right?
That's summertime, so I got to get outside, mow the yard. Right?
Yeah,
so we're going to tell you about next week's council meeting. We look to be a short meeting. We don't have a lot of agenda items. We do have our standard board of bids and petitions for improvements. We have 5 public speakers. I understand they're all youth from the independent school. We had a few of these kids, was it last week?
2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
And so now we have more coming, so it's great. Always eager to hear young minds and ideas for our city. A couple of business items. One, we have some software for our transit system, and this is requirement by the FDA. They installed some new data recording and analysis requirements. This will put us in compliance, so that way we're identifying hazards, information to help keep our drivers and riders safer. So again, more information. Government's famous for data, and this will get us more data so that way we can make a safer transportation system.
Right. Safety is always foremost on our mind. We got to constantly be looking at this and reevaluating our processes. This one, I believe, is coming down, like you said, from the FTA.
Yep.
So we're going to look at what we're doing and how we have to fit the new qualifications and requirements. It's always interesting to see this because this isn't something that we normally see come up. So it's always good to get a little bit of information and education on the various ins and outs of all our departments, and transit's one of them that we definitely need to be paying attention to.
And again, the riders aren't going to notice anything different. This is software that just helps us track to be able to operate more efficiently and safer. So,
and I don't believe it's AI, so AI is not driving our buses or anything.
That's Chad, GP driver. GP driver.
John Connor, you don't have to worry too much yet. So. We're also looking at an ordinance to match state law that would remove mandatory sentences for those convicted of riding on a suspended driver's license. We're going to work to give grace to those caught in a bad situation. There's a lot of people out there, they get caught up in the system. We want to make sure that we don't continue to make things worse for them, because that oftentimes helps lead to a life of further crime as opposed to giving people a chance to get back on track and be productive members of society.
Yeah, and this is a good law that the state passed, and again, just coming in compliance with that, making it easier so that people, aren't going to have to make those issues worse for them down the line. So they can, and this allows the judges to use discretion, and again, kind of help them determine what is the right sentence.
Always looking to improve our processes. Criminal justice reform, that's been a big issue here the last decade or so, rightfully so. And again, if we want to do our part to stop making the hole too difficult for people to dig out of. So the amendments will grant municipal court judges more discretion, like you said. They will also assist individuals whose licenses are suspended for non-payment of fines to avoid jail times. A lot of people do something wrong, they still have to get to work.
Right.
They still have to pay off the fines if we don't allow them to get to work.
Right.
Especially a lot of people who have second and third shift jobs.
And then it just continues a downward spiral, and then they never get out of that. And again, the right situation isn't going to be the right situation for every person.
Right.
And having that discretion to be able to help someone through a rough patch, right, would not continue to be punitive.
Right.
Right. And so I think that's the goal here, and I think it's a good program. So looking forward to it. Then we're also going to talk about some public housing opportunities. The city owns a lot of single-family residential homes, and the idea working with HUD was to dispose of those and then use the proceeds to create more affordable housing that we can manage more efficiently. Right. The city's not in the property management business, and 352 homes, that's just too many. And so working with HUD, they're going to allow us to use the proceeds by selling this to then create more affordable housing situations that we can manage more efficiently. And so we have a pilot project in southwest Wichita, which is near Meridian and Pawnee. It's about 23 units, and putting those up for sale, and then using the proceeds to hopefully create some better options for people.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to that. It's a good discussion. It's a great idea, and let's hope we can get some good vendors and good RFP or good proposals.
Yeah, and a lot of these houses are vacant too currently, so this will also help ease the housing market, the housing crunch that we are still in. It's kind of eased a little bit on its own, but it's still very much an issue.
I had a meeting with the real estate agent today. Not that I'm selling, okay, but he was telling me that the inventory is less than 3 weeks right now. It is so tight. There's just not product.
Right.
And so while we want to be a growing, vibrant city where people move here, there's no places.
Right.
There's no place to move into, and it's at all levels.
Yeah.
And it's just not any one. It's all across the board. And so, creating some more inventory that people can fix up and then use for their. And again, some of these are vacant. They need some work.
Yeah.
Let's get them fixed up and being productive again.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. We chatting with some of the charities around who are trying to get people out of homeless shelters and back into homes. This is one of the issues that they're facing. I believe last year, the Lord's Diner, or not the Lord's Diner, St. Anthony's homeless shelter, they're usually a 6-week turnaround. A family comes in, they get them stabilized. 6 weeks later, they find housing for them and get them back out. They were at a 6-month wait last year because for the simple fact that they just didn't have units out there to help the families get into. So this will help with that. And I also have a pilot project down in my area of town too, and I think that's next on the list. That's getting rehab currently, and before too long they'll get that out on the market as well.
And again, you bring up a good point. The goal of homelessness is to get rid of it, but you have to do it because the goal should be rare and non-reoccurring. Right? It shouldn't be something that is normal, right? And so to have a 6-month window, man, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's not good. So,
aside from that, you have any summer plans or travels coming up? I know you're in crunch time right now, so I think your travels are limited.
My travels are pretty much limited to neighborhoods.
Right. Yeah.
And we can say that without going any further, being the form that we're in. So spending a lot of time locally.
Yeah.
Right. Unfortunately, I don't. And again, that's great because I love Wichita. Right. This is a great place to visit. Sometimes you need to take a vacation in your own hometown. There's a lot of great things to see and do, and we tend to forget it. You know, today we were talking in a staff presentation about the Keeper of the Plains and how it's our #1 tourist attraction, and it's the most photographed thing. It celebrates 50 years next year. We take it for granted because we're here, and we love it, but most people that come down there are out-of-towners.
Right.
And so become a tourist in your own town, right? Get out and see our attractions, our zoo, our Great Plains Nature Center, the river. There's a lot of things to do and see. So you don't have to travel to enjoy some time off.
I think it's staycation for the Hoheisel household.
That's the word, staycation. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, for the foreseeable future anyways.
Well, you've got a little one. I mean, your travel has got to be, unless you're visiting relatives to show him off, right? You probably are going to stick around close to home.
Maybe
enjoy him.
Yeah. Maybe an occasional Royals game.
There you go.
That's about it as far as any summer plans go.
Well, and wind surge. Can't forget.
Oh man, I love going to the ballpark. I just love baseball in general, and we have such a great ballpark out there. And the team, it's a rival, a division rival, who's the feeder team, but still, it's just great because you see the guys coming up. They love the game, future MLB stars. It's definitely one of my favorite places to go hang out.
Absolutely. All right, so this is where staff likes to surprise us with a unique question. I'm always a little wary of this. So.
Right.
Oh, well, this one's a good one. What is the best Riverfest activity? We just closed Riverfest a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Very successful year. What about you? What's your favorite?
Oh, depending on who we have coming to town. Last year, Willie Nelson.
Oh, yeah.
That was by far the coolest concert that I think I've seen the Riverfest put on. I do enjoy the celebrity egg toss. I know you're a veteran of the event.
Won it.
Yeah, that's
I won
right.
it back
you
in 2018.
Yeah.
So.
If I speak from childhood memories, though, Treasure Island was always one of my favorites.
I used to sponsor that when I was the marketing director at Channel 3.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I used to put that whole thing together.
Hey.
So maybe you were a kid
I probably
that I was in the dunk tank.
I was usually getting in trouble while I was out there.
Yeah,
So
that was at Central Riverside Park, for those that remember. Yeah. It was a Sunday afternoon, usually Mother's Day.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why you had to it kind of started to lose its luster, because it was like, is this a day for kids or for moms?
Yeah.
So
a little bit of competition there.
A little bit of competition, yeah. Well, since I'm a Wichita Wagon Master, I have a couple of favorites.
Yeah.
Certainly the Ice Cream Social.
Oh, yeah.
Highland Dairy sponsors that, and we give out so much vanilla ice cream. And people come back for 3, 4, 5, 6 bowls. I don't know how you can put away that much ice cream. There's an ice cream sandwich eating contest, and Chief Snow from our fire department won it this year.
Oh, I did not know that.
She did. She went up against Captain Sangria from Patrol South and Hungria. I combined his name.
Yeah.
I said, anyway, he knows his name. Captain Hungria, and then Sheriff Easter, and then Chief from the Citrus County Fire. But yeah, Chief Snow won that, so that was great. And then also the river tours.
Oh, yeah.
That's something that Wagon Masters started about 12 years ago, and we give rides up and down the river on a barge that we created to look like the Wind Wagon.
Oh.
And it's always fun to ask how many people this is your first time on the river, and usually there's about 80 to 90%.
Really?
It's staggering,
huh.
and everyone just enjoys it. It's such a peaceful place to be and see the sights from there. But those are, again, concerts. I'm a concert guy, so I love that. But a couple of Wagon Master events are probably my favorites. So.
I'll have to get out there on that.
Oh, definitely.
On the river with you next year.
Definitely. So it's fun because we tell a story. We give some history about Wichita, some long tales, some yarns. But it is fun, and young and old love it. So
I think there's a greater appreciation coming out of COVID for the Riverfest.
Oh, absolutely. Totally agree.
To see the crowds out there. Incidentally, my kid will no longer go on any of the rides at the carnival with me. I think I scared her straight on that one. So,
yeah.
But yeah, it's always a great time. Community, just mixing it up with people. We really need that nowadays.
Oh, absolutely. And it is one thing that we have that is uniquely ours. You know, the River Festival has been on 50 years now, and it's fantastic. And every year they do something different to reinvent it a little bit. There's the old favorites, like we talked about, but it is good to get back out and seeing people enjoy Wichita again.
Yeah.
So. And
I believe Disney made a short movie about Windwagon Smith back in the day, or correct?
Yeah, it's probably not politically correct anymore.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's been 30 years or so since I've seen it.
Yeah, it would not be politically correct today, but it was. Yeah. And we used to show it at the Riverfest. We had a little screening room set up on Douglas, and people could go in and watch it. And then I don't know what happened to that. Maybe it was because it wasn't politically correct anymore.
Maybe we can edit it or redo it.
I don't want to ask Disney for that permission. That'd probably be very expensive. Well, I was hoping for more of a surprise question, but that was a good one. It was a good conversation. So
they'll get us next time around.
I'm sure they will. Now that we set that expectation.
Right.
So
get something real controversial like favorite television series or favorite Gilligan's Island character.
Still have is a hot dog a sandwich or not? I still remember that one.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and with that, let's close this out.
So, all right, Wichita, it was good to chat with you today, and please pay attention to what's going on with City Council and our meetings every Tuesday, and be sure to subscribe and follow us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.